The mystery that's torn two families apart. Is Liesel Smith alive and in hiding, or has she been murdered? The prime suspect, her boyfriend. But after a long-running investigation, there's one final twist in this tragic case that's left everyone with more questions than answers.
Every time he opened his mouth, he was lying.
We're saying that she has been murdered. The last person she was seen alive with is you.
She's still alive.
I just want to hug her one more time. And I'll never have that. I'll never have that.
The New South Wales Central Coast was home to Liesel Smith and her mum. But for almost 10 years, Sandy has searched, hoped and wondered about her daughter.
I've thought about selling this house. This house has so many memories of her. But I couldn't sell it because what if she came back one day and knocked on the door? And I wasn't here. I remember her face, her little laugh, her smiles.
Growing up, Liesel was described as kind with a heart of gold. She loved horses.
That was the first little pony that I ever got for her.
But Liesel's love of horses led her to her accused killer. James Church, or Jim, as everybody knew him. A horse farrier who lived a few doors up from Liesel.
She also wanted to learn how to, break horses in and train them and things. So that's how they originally met.
The pair was in a relationship, but Jim never wanted to admit it.
He kept her a secret, whereas she told everybody. And part of that was because he had an ongoing relationship with one woman who he told was the love of his life.
That woman was Belinda Lees, who stuck by Jim until his stories unravelled.
I love you so much.
I love you too, babe.
23-year-old Liesel went missing on the 19th of August 2012. Jim Church has always denied he killed her. Her body has never been found, and despite police charging Jim with murder, no weapon was located, and how Liesel died is unknown. 3 weeks after Liesel vanished, Jim was interviewed by police.
How long has you actually had contact with her? You can say yes, that's...
Oh, I don't know, mate. It would be months.
Months?
Yeah, mate.
That was just the first of many lies. And police were closing in. They discovered Liesel's abandoned car at the train station.
I couldn't work it out. I thought, well, where's she gone? Who's she gone with? And
did you ever imagine at all during this time that she could have been murdered?
No. Who would do that to her?
Did she tell you why she wanted you to pick her up from
To give her
the
a
railway
lift?
station? Yeah, but did she say why she needed a lift?
No, she's just been a pain in the arse.
This is the last vision of Liesel, captured at Tuggerah train station on the New South Wales Central Coast. Jim's ute and Liesel's car pull up. Jim gets out and talks to Liesel through her car window. She then drives off and parks in the railway station car park before she walks back to Jim's ute 80 metres away. They drive off, and Jim tells detectives he gave Liesel a lift to Wyong, a 10-minute trip. After he drops Liesel off, he says he goes home, spends a couple of hours with his parents and heads over to Belinda's house.
I really can't remember what she said, but she wanted me to pick her up.
This was no longer a missing persons case. It was a homicide investigation. Police see Jim's ute on traffic cameras at Sandy Hollow in the Hunter Valley, 187 kilometres north of the train station car park.
Now, your car was recorded at the camera 2 hours and 22 minutes after you collected Liesel from Tuggerah Railway Station.
So pretty much spot on.
Yeah, but like I said, I jumped in two places 2 times.
But Jim's ute is snapped again that day.
They've recorded your vehicle, CGE 48U, travelling southbound on the Golden Highway. How do you explain this?
Oh, I can't, can I? Sure you got the right number plate because...
I'm sure I've got the right number plate.
By now, police know Jim wasn't with his girlfriend Belinda.
At 6:26 p.m, Belinda's tried to contact your phone.
Yep.
At 7:19 p.m, Belinda's also tried to contact your phone.
Yep.
At 7:20 p.m, a minute later, Belinda tries contacting your landline. And then at 8:02 p.m. on the 19th of August, Belinda contacts your landline again. Well, if you were with Belinda, why would she be trying to contact your mobile phone and your landline? The reason being is because you took Liesel Smith up into the Hunter Valley and you murdered her.
Certainly I've never murdered anyone. I'm not a murderer.
1:15 a.m. the next day. Phone records show his mobile is switched back on.
Is this an unusual time for you to be
Not if I'm up
on
in the
the
middle.
phone?
Not if I'm up in the middle of the night, mate.
Detectives also question why, 2 days before Liesel disappeared, Jim's ute is recorded driving the same route north.
On the 17th of August 2012, he travelled up into the Hunter region, through into the Merry War region.
Right.
This is when you selected and prepared a site to murder Liesel and dispose of her body.
No. I haven't murdered anyone. I don't murder people.
He tells detectives it must be a mistake.
The day that Liesel Smith goes missing, the day we say she's been murdered, adds another mistake.
Oh, I do find it a bit strange that it was 2 days in a row, but...
Yeah, we find it strange too, Jim, that was 2 days in a row.
On August 17, Jim leaves Liesel a voicemail.
You've left a message that you've organised the place, everything's going to be all right, the place is ready to go.
The heat is on. Police suggest motives why Jim murdered Liesel.
This is the girl who went out of her way in an attempt to poison your relationship with Belinda.
Yep.
This is the girl who was telling people that she was pregnant to you.
Yep.
But Jim defends Liesel.
She's a dead, but she's not... She was actually nice.
Liesel Smith was infatuated with you
Yeah, I believe that.
because of your new relationship with Belinda Liesel felt rejected and scorned.
Detectives keep pushing.
So you decided the only way to eliminate this threat was to murder Liesel.
No. I haven't murdered anyone.
What you don't know is that Liesel was never pregnant.
Makes no difference to me.
We believe you murdered Liesel,
No way in the world.
right? We believe that her
Also-
remains are
also-
located in the Hunter, and we want to know where she is.
I haven't murdered anyone. I don't know where she is. I certainly don't own a gun. I've never murdered anyone.
We're not saying you shot her.
You asked me before, did I own a gun?
Yeah, but we're not saying you shot her.
Okay. I was just trying to explain to you.
In the 3 months leading up to Liesel going missing, phone records show they contacted each other 1,804 times. But there's not a single text or phone call between them after August 19.
The only reason you don't make the call to her is because you know she's dead.
No, well, I don't want to get in bloody trouble, do I?
From who?
Well, you're looking for her.
Police say after Jim murdered Liesel, he took her mobile phone and sent text messages to her family and friends, trying to make them believe she was still alive. Jim doesn't know his phone is being tapped, and you can hear the desperation in his voice.
They've told me that you support my story of being with you when I was at your place. They've told me all this. They've told me all this. They're charging me with murder. There's 5 cop cars at my place at embarrassed I'm searching the house.
I'm going to go to jail for sure.
No, you won't, sweetheart. Of course you won't.
I don't know what to do.
Jim's mates jumped to his defence, hiring a private investigator to try and clear his name.
I said, as soon as you see her or spot her, you hog-tie her, call the police and hog-tie her so she can't get away.
Police interviewed Jim again, and his story has changed again.
During those 4 previous interviews, did you tell any lies to the police?
Yes, I have.
Jim's first confession.
I was in a sexual relationship with Liesel Smith. I did lie to you about that because I was hiding this from not only yourselves but my girlfriend.
He appears nervous.
Bear with me, I'm really trying to do the right thing here, guys. I'm upset and I am trying to...
Okay.
I want everything out. I've got nothing more to hide.
Jim comes up with an alibi about why he was driving in the Hunter Valley on August 19. He tells detectives his girlfriend reminded him he visited friends.
Oh yes, you bought the coleslaw and the chicken on the Friday. I remember you bought a bottle of wine on the Sunday.
While police build their case, there's still a mum waiting and wondering.
I know she's dead, and I don't want to think about how she met her demise because that just kills me. Just to know that her body was out there in the cold and it was just nothing. She was just treated like nothing.
It's 12 months now since Liesel disappeared. A new twist and a new story from Jim.
No, there was 2 gunshots. It wasn't just one. It's not my imagination. There was definitely 2 gunshots. So.
He tells police about 2 men who've shot him in the middle of the night after questioning him about Liesel.
Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun?
6 years on and the case has gone cold. Officers need a smoking gun to prove Jim was lying.
They searched several properties on the Central Coast and Hunter owned by Church, seizing several items.
Then, this highway patrol video is found. It shows Jim Church's ute travelling north at 2:14 p.m. This fleeting image finally proving Jim couldn't have dropped Liesel at Wyong and that he drove her on that long trip north. Detectives now charge Jim Church with murder.
I was really hoping that he would let us know, but he couldn't tell the truth.
Jim faced a 3-month trial after pleading not guilty. 68 days of evidence. Sandy there every day.
Did you ever lock eyes with him in the court?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would stare him down and he would just look at me for a couple of seconds and then turn away. He couldn't look me in the face.
With a verdict just 24 hours away, a final twist nobody saw coming. Jim Church took his life.
James Church either died an innocent man or a gutless killer.
A cruel act, almost 10 years of police work, and 3 months of gruelling evidence from prosecutors, coming to no conclusion.
You must be disappointed with that outcome.
And for a mum, no answers.
What do you think about him taking his life?
He's a coward. Just a coward. If you're innocent, I would fight every single day to prove that I was innocent.
It is unfortunate for the interests of justice for there to be, in effect, no answer.
Judge Paul Conlon, who's prosecuted and ruled on cases for more than 30 years, explains why a verdict can't be handed down.
Where a person dies prior to verdict, well then the rendering of any verdict where no punishment can follow is regarded as unnecessary and the trial will have to abate. That is, it will have to end then and there.
The judge believes the law should be more considerate of victims' families.
In those circumstances where you have that completion of the trial process, maybe it's time for the introduction of some legislation in certain circumstances to say that verdicts can be delivered where the trial process has completed.
In a case full of surprises, another shock outside court. Storm Smith, Liesel's dad, declares his daughter is alive.
I think she took off. And I do believe, and I said that in the courtroom, that she's still alive. And I'm hoping it goes to the coroner.
Even Jim's mate, who hired the private investigator, insists Jim died an innocent man.
So that poor bugger just had to go through all of this trial on his own. Because he couldn't even stay with anybody, he couldn't talk to anybody, he couldn't see anybody. And now he's suicided.
You think he's innocent?
Yeah, I do. That's my personal opinion. I've known him for a long time.
What do you think about all the evidence that was brought against him?
Oh, I can't really comment on that.
So you think this is a huge miscarriage of justice?
Yes, I do.
It's a great mystery, isn't it?
It is. It'd make one hell of a Hollywood movie, I'd say.
What about, I get upset, think about it. What about just not knowing where your little girl is?
That's the hardest thing. He's committed suicide. His family will have a funeral and they will bury him or cremate him or do whatever that they choose to do. They will always be able to go there and say, sorry, son, or, you know, happy birthday or whatever. I don't have that. I don't have that.
So the investigation is very much still ongoing. Our priority is to bring Liesel home.
Detective Superintendent Chad Gillies from the New South Wales Police.
Our investigators have lived and breathed this. They have not given up and they will continue to strive to find Liesel no matter how long it takes.
Do you think somebody out there knows where Liesel is?
I do believe people would know something, and now is the time. There's been no better time to come forward now and assist investigators to locate Liesel.
For now, a mystery that's torn apart two families.
But I don't know where my daughter is. And that's the worst.
If you or someone you know needs help, there is support available. Contact Lifeline. The number is on your screen now, 131114. That's 131114.